hosted by Kanish. Kanish is the creative director at Arweave India. So all the cool visuals and videos and graphics you see is him, and um, he also has experience coming from a streetwear brand, like a fashion streetwear brand, and has years of understanding of brands, communication, design. So you guys are in good hands. Probably, that's for sure. And for those who make it to Hacker House later on, you might have a chance to talk to him in person, and even like if you can DM him on Discord and all. So that would be cool. And yes, Aditya, you're damn right. Click video was made by him. So, all the things on the Arweave India Twitter, whatever that you see, it's him. So he knows the shit, for that's what we are here for. And that's gonna be fun. Um, Okay, so before we begin, just one last thing, because all of you are here at the moment, is that right after Bootcamp 3, this is the last bootcamp in the 3 of 3 series. From tomorrow, the challenges will go live. And what are the challenges? Challenges are basically your access to the Hacker House. They're going to be like dev challenges for the developers and design challenges for the designers. So tomorrow morning, keep an eye on the Discord, keep an eye on Arweave Twitter. The challenges will be live for 3 or 4 days. So you have some time. So, start thinking about what you're gonna do already. Uh, Alpha, for those who are here, it's around gaming. So that's gonna be fun. And yeah, so we will be there. Yeah, heck yeah, Aditya. Yeah, here for the Hacker House. Nice. So yeah, be active in the Discord, chill in the Discord. Just ask questions, have fun, um, and yeah, we'll be we'll be going very active and live with the challenges from tomorrow. So it's gonna be fun, and worth sticking around. You can actually, Nico, both, but you wanna what are you better at, like you could be a better developer, could be a better designer, so you want to make increase your chances, and you can submit both if if you're feeling uh just damn confident about things. But yeah, go for it, dude, for sure. Okay, we're gonna start very, very soon. Kanishka has just given a green light in like the next minute. So, any questions about the Hacker House, the boot camp, the challenges? 1 minute, if you want to just put in the chat, and I'll take it up, and then I can um, just answer. Yes, use Loom. Loom is yeah. Do you want to drop some links, Mystic, for Loom, and people can check out? It's a pretty cool project in the ecosystem. If you're into gaming, it's pretty fun. So yeah, okay. Okay, one last minute for the questions, guys, before we start. Any questions, just put it in the chat and I can just help answer you live here right now. Or else that's the maybe like the signal for Kanish to just come on stage. What are the dates for the Hacker House? Yes, so the dates are 31st, 30th November to 5th December, just this month. So it's gonna be in Bangalore. I don't know how many, it's a pretty cool venue. You should check out how we do Hacker Houses, on the Arweave India Twitter account. It's gonna be in Bangalore just before the ETH um, just before the ETH India dates. So if you're coming to Bangalore anyway, this is like in a very sweet spot. So you're gonna have fun. Yeah, thanks, Rupa. He was say smart contract. Nice, cool. But these solving real problems. I don't see any Web3 app grow as big as Web2. That's not true, AJ. You should. The one that's coming right on top of my mind right now, because it's the election season, US election, is Polymarket, and is as big as any Web2 app right now, even like bigger. So there's a lot. Uh, I can share a sneak peek of it. Yeah, man, go for it. I don't know, maybe it's on Discord, it's better. Web3 to the moon. But yeah, Aditya, do share it. We'd love to check it out. We can surely help. Okay, okay. I see Kanishk already broadcasting to us. So yeah, Come on, guys. Let's get ready. It's going to be a pretty cool session. And I'll just Ganesh, I'll be here muted, so you can just share your screen. And yeah, just ask people to drop an emoji so just to confirm you can they can hear and see you. So
Y-
over to you, and the stage is yours.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hello, how's it going? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. A little louder would be nice.
Hold on 1 second. Is this better?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah. Cool. I think one of the first things that I was going to start with, I think Ashutosh has already started off with. So I was just going to start with that same question. Hold on, I'll just share my screen to begin with. And um, yeah, so is the screen visible? I press share. Yeah, is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. We're good.
Uh, yeah, uh, cool. I think one of the first things that I was going to start with is the same question. How many designers and developers are we seeing in the room today? I mean, if we can just drop another emoji or like any text in the chat to just see, just to get a little bit of an idea. Or an edge designer, another designer, dev. Mostly I'm seeing like some designers, but mostly I'm seeing devs both. Both. Lilith is both. Pluto designer. Cool. Good to know. Designer better my dev. What makes a designer? Wow, a philosophical question. Uh, comes in the chat. Uh, we're going to drop that question for now. What makes a designer? But yeah. Even the designers. How many of you come from like an engineering background? Just curious about that. Is there anyone from like a CS first year? Me. Yeah. So basically, I have like a similar background of like just to get back to that. Yeah. So I come from like a similar background. I did my engineering, but then ended up getting into the creative fields and like getting into the marketing side of things. And as Ashutosh explained, I do like creative direction at Arweave India. I have worked with a bunch of startups like retail brands, fashion labels, musicians, YouTubers, basically like whoever needed like anything designed and communicated. I was there. So that is what my skill set is. Uh, so yeah, I mean, even though like I have worked on like with all those people and like on all of those brands, I still feel like that whenever we are like in any industry, it takes like validation from like certain like external stakeholders to like succeed. So I feel like that even though you can do some things in life, and like if you feel like you are like a super good, whatever your talent is, in order to like actually end up doing it at like a certain with like a certain degree of proficiency, I feel like there are always like external stakeholders that dictate your success to varying degrees. These can be like users, these can be like investors, and like I'm sure that a lot of you are looking for that sort of that middle of the road plug that sort of validates your idea, so that you can pursue it maybe like full time. Uh, so yeah, I mean, you can't just lead with like a trust me, bro, sort of attitude towards design. In like a world where people see risk everywhere, it is important to sort of instill like a sense of confidence in whoever your users are. So, I mean, am I a boomer at this point? If you guys are familiar with this brand, it's like for non-Hindi speakers, the tagline is "पहले इस्तेमाल करे फिर विश्वास करे," which translates roughly to first use it, then you trust it. But really, it's not a niche reference. It's like a boomer reference. Doesn't make it niche. It's just an old reference. But yeah. But to be honest, like in reality, it never really works that way, at least at this point. I feel like people expect the yeah, the company is also dead now. Yeah, it's dead. But I mean, case can be made that in a different demographic it still works. But yeah, maybe not as relevant. But surely, I still believe that the tagline, as long as that goes, I don't think that works in that sequence anymore. People expect a certain level of trust, and then they, might consider like using your product. That is sort of just the world we live in. But yes, this sentiment, like it never works, as I mentioned. So, how do we make our products look real? Real enough for people to trust and real enough for people to use. Uh, but yeah, so that is the goal of the session. So just to ask a question to everyone out there, what is like one aspect of like every product that like everyone looks out for? Open to any answers. Aesthetic is one. Any other? But like aesthetics, actually, I do still feel like that. Since you are like a designer, like the aesthetics are like super important to you. But I think a lot of people have like varying degree of uh, their judgment of aesthetics. Like aesthetic is not the same for everyone. Ankush said usability. Good answer. Similar answer by Lalit, I guess ease of use. Price. I'm not sure what PMF means, to be honest. Sam, uh, मेहनत ना लगे यूज कर so true. मेहनत ना लगे यूज करना quality, trust, intuitiveness, functionality, product market fit. Yes, that is definitely from like a business viability perspective for sure. uh, Instant connection, Wally feel that is something that we will get back to. That is like a great point that I will get back to. So I'm not seeing the exact word I'm looking for, but I think it's like a one word that I think everyone uses when describing uh, like a product that uh, anyone wants to like get to is quality. सबको चाहिए. Everyone wants a good quality product, high quality product, uh, and but in a way, uh, quality is like a very broad term. Uh, you can never really sort of quantify fully what quality is. It's different for different people. Sometimes it's just robustness, sometimes it's like ease of use, sometimes it's maybe like a product market fit. It really depends on what quality is to you as a user. So yeah, I feel like quality is nothing more than what we agree upon as good, which is like a very vibes based definition. Edge mentions Wazir X had quality, but see now. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's like very vibes based, situational also. Uh, but yeah, I do agree with the sentiment that quality is nothing more than what we agree upon as good. So I feel like one like a key metric for everyone to focus on is knowing the difference between good and bad design, as Ashutosh also mentioned in the intro of the Soul series. So this does come off as very vibes based, but for your own brand you need to like decide what is good and what is bad quality. So this is not always easy, because when like the design of any product is truly good, it is invisible to a certain degree. When the design is good, you can to a certain degree just feel like the design is right. So in order to like quantify that feel of the product, we really need to get to the bottom of what does good quality feel like good quality, good design. What does it truly feel like to have that in your product, you know? And to me, like a good quality product feels like it is made exactly how I want it to be, which is like an answer that I think everyone was sort of getting to with like quality, trust, intuitiveness, mehnat nahi lage, instant connect. You feel an instant connect with the product. You feel sort of seen by the product and the solution provided to you. Now, in order to achieve that, before you get to really designing the product, you need to figure out who is using the product, you know. So I feel like we should just approach this with an example. I feel like Spotify and Epidemic Sound are two platforms. Both have audio files hosted on them. Now, obviously, both are radically different. If you are unfamiliar with, I'm sure all of you, can you drop a fire emoji if you are familiar with Spotify? I'm sure everyone is. My aunt knows Spotify. Ash knows Spotify. Yeah, yeah. So Spotify, everyone is familiar with. Are you familiar? Is anyone familiar with Epidemic Sound? It's like a audio repository. No. No, 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 no. Nobody's familiar. It's a great resource. I would recommend looking it up if you are looking into like any sort of like audio resources for any of your like video edits or any way you require an audio for any use. I think it's great. Lo-fi beats to relax to. That is another audio resource. Maybe that can be another comparison we can draw. Uh, but yeah, I think in order to like truly understand your user, you need to like find motivations within your user base, and you need to address those motivations directly by talking to the users, not at the users. Now, what do we mean by that? Let's get to like a very simple example of just like a quick example. I won't get too deep into like any of these concepts since we're only covering like high level stuff so that you can use these insights and get back to what you want to do with your products. So just as an example, if you search anything on Spotify, like any music, any word, you are faced with results. Obviously, you search for your song, you get results, and now the data that is displayed to you is has like different priorities for different information it is displaying. As you can see, I searched let just so because that's why all three songs have the first word as same. Uh, Now you can see like the title of the song and the artist name. So those are like super important to anyone who is like looking up anything, looking up any music and wanting to listen to it. These are like key metrics for you to look at. Artist names, song names, album art, album name. See, all of those are things that I look at when I'm looking up a song that I want to listen. However, when I am on a website such as Epidemic Sound, when I do a keyword search, the results look very different. Uh, so when I search on this website, the results that I see are still listed in like a list form, but the attributes that I see have changed a lot. So now here the name sort of means nothing to us. The name of the so because it's like a stock music platform, royalty-free music platform. So the name and the artist name, to be honest, does not really matter that much to us. What does matter, however, are the additional attributes that have been added to this platform. So as you can see like a more prominent feature of the entire waveform, so we can understand the structure of this music. We can see the sound, we can see the length of the track, so we can see how long the piece of music is. We can see like a beats per minute to understand like the pacing of the music. We can see some attribute keywords such as beat music, children's music, calypso as a genre. We can see pop, future bass, genres are there. Then there's also keywords to describe the mood of the music. Of course, then there's the buttons where you can like add or download it or whatever. So if this it was going to be a platform for someone to listen to music, this is over information. Uh, but Epidemic Sounds is one of the, even though like none of you knew about it, it is one of the premier platforms for audio resources. Uh, so what we can take away from this is that different users have different priorities, and we need to cater to them. At its core, both of these platforms are just hosting audio files, uh, but like the users are very different. The intentions of the user to come on that platform are very different, and that is why the UI is sort of takes that into account and changes like the whatever basic level optimized search results exist. So yeah, I mean that was the sort of a differentiation in order to like understand who your users are and sort of build your UI with the context of who you are building for. Uh, if there's any doubts or any questions regarding this, I'll be checking the chat right now. So yeah, is everyone still here? Can we just drop a +1 or like a fire emoji if you're still here and listening to this? +1, Ankush. Awesome. Cool. Great. 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 Just an attentiveness check. Yeah, bunch of people listening. Awesome. So yeah, that is one thing that I think all of you should be taking into account is that understanding basically who will be using your product, why they'll be using your product, and sort of getting to the bottom of the best things that you need to prioritize. Yeah, so Edge has mentioned, but some website have different kind of users, how to tackle in that scenario. Can you elaborate with some, I mean, surely you have some thought in mind with that question. If you can explain a little bit more, I can get back with an answer. Build for everyone, build for no one. Exactly. For products like SDKs, is design even relevant? Yes. And actually, has mentioned some users with advanced knowledge and some beginner. I think these are both very related questions, both by Aditya and HJ. I feel like, and that is something I really wanted to address, and I'm so glad that a lot of developers are attending this to understand this because, as an engineering person who has ended up in design, I see this pop up a lot of people just saying that my product is meant for developers. They will know how to understand it and use it. Why does it need to look nice? So that is sort of the goal of what I'm trying to explain also is that uh, building a product with like a good user experience doesn't have to mean that it is just aesthetically nice. The point of understanding who your users are is to understand their requirements. So for instance, I'll just go back. Uh, so for someone, if I just wanted to listen to the music on Epidemic Sound, which it would be odd for anyone to do that, but if I really wanted to just check out the music and like vibe out to it, I would go to the platform and I would disregard everything in this portion. It does not matter to me. It is too much information and it is sort of irrelevant to me. It is just adding to the visual clutter. And on phone, it gets a bit messed up too because there's a lot going on. However, as if I'm an editor visiting this platform, I have a more advanced knowledge, more advanced skill set. Therefore, these advanced attributes help me uh, uh, navigate the website better and makes my experience better. As an editor, I can, and as a user of Epidemic Sound, I can tell you that just having these simple like attributes about like the tonality of the music adds a lot. Like it will be impossible for me to find something like that in Spotify. Uh, but on Epidemic, they understand that I know what a BPM is, and therefore they add it as a feature. So even if you are building for people with like a what you would consider like a more advanced skill set and advanced knowledge, you would have to build features for them in that case because if you are building something that is for someone with like an advanced skill set and you give them only UI or like features that are dumbed down for like a broader audience, they would not really prefer your service. They would rather go to someone who is willing to give them that flexibility for like an advanced user. Uh, yeah, so I think Edge, I think you followed up with another thing, which is some users with advanced knowledge and some with beginner. For example, Binance app have two user interfaces. One is simple and one is pretty technical. We can switch between those. Never seen this in any other app. Is this a good way to design? Your thoughts? I think that is a very interesting way to approach your designs, to have like two versions of things. I have like a simple version for like a so basically like a light version, and a pro version is what you are sort of referring to in a certain capacity. Doesn't have to come with like a extra financial incentive or anything. It can just be a toggle switch to switch between like an advanced mode or something. That is a cool. I think a lot of apps do this already. I don't have a screenshot of it right now, but any designers in the chat would be able to understand that. So I think an example would be the image trace tool in Adobe Illustrator. So you can just press the image trace button and you can check out the presets. But if you are really like an advanced user and you want to get into the nitty-gritties of things, you can just open up that advanced tab and sort of tinker it with it further. So yeah, I think that if you have a target audience which is segregated between somehow segregated between entry level users and advanced users, it is good to sort of give that flexibility in some capacity. Of course, it will be slightly more trickier to cater to both of these audiences. And uh, Binance, as an example, of course, they come in with they had like a lot of have like a lot of resources at their disposal, so they can sort of invest in that. Yeah, and I just want to create crazy designs, either love it or hate it, not in between. Works. I mean, go for it. I mean, I'm not sure. Go for it. To be honest, I think that is the general designer perspective. I think that is why it is great to have someone on the team who can help you moderate that craziness. Because at the end of the day, you need users to survive. Otherwise, if you're going for like a purely design-oriented approach to sort of flex your design abilities, run it. I mean, go for a design you people would love or hate. Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I mean, just getting back to what I was talking about. So yeah, using the same and using like the same point, and we can get to the next thing. So yeah, I mean, like the key takeaway, by the way, just to circle back on this, was different users, different priorities. So you need to find your users and you have to find your priorities. So when you have that, you should be able to focus on your focal points. So now that you know your priorities, you should be able to translate your insights and your priorities into visuals. Now, how you do that, there are a lot of ways to approach this. It is important that you visually emphasize your focal points of your products to keep your priorities in check. And it is also important for you to have some sort of visual hierarchy, because you most of the time you will not have just one thing that you're focusing on. So there needs to be some sort of hierarchy, and you need to understand how to visually convey that hierarchy. So I would recommend like you list down everything that is important for your product. It can be like important metrics for your users specifically, like metrics that work for the users that you expect. And based on that, you can create uh, uh, like a hierarchy out of these things. Just to get into like a quick example I grabbed off the internet. So yeah, so on the example on the left side, there are basically two cards, as you can see. I'm sure all of you have been working on landing pages in some capacity and will have to work on landing pages definitely for your products. So you will be familiar with card designs, and it's like a whole huge rabbit hole on how to optimize your card designs for like the best results. So yeah, I mean, both of these cards are designed for like a house sale listing. The one on the left has like mostly just it has all of the details that you would need to buy a house. But the one on the right prioritizes the price, then like luxury five bed villa, which is like a description, uh, and like changes up the icons and all of that. Just checking it on the chart 1 second. As Pallavi said, GM, I am new to dev, did a little bit of React back in 2023. Should I spend some time in dev or possibly in dev? I think that's a good question, Pallavi, for the Discord. I think someone would be able to link you to the Discord where you can chat it up with the community and figure it out. Um, and I think Jim mentioned also put some thoughts on white spacing while designing. I think we'll get to it right now. Second looks more eye-catching for sure. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure most of you would agree that the second one looks more catchy. Does anyone want to get into why? If anyone has any like broad level ideas. Hi, Greg. Also, if no one noticed, the cost of the house also increased quite a lot in the second card. Nobody got onto that for some reason, and it says for sale. Second one is less content and more important content. Interest. Um, only the details that are needed are highlighted. Better information delivered, more visual distinction. Both have the same degree. Yeah, both have the same degree. Second one has easy to read components rather than a bunch of text put together. Easy to read. Yes, I think most of you are getting to that same point where you understand that the second one is a little bit like easier to read overall, and like you can understand how what is going on in like each example. So just to go Airbnb versus Make My Trip, which is Airbnb, Ash, in your opinion, out of these? But yes, I feel like if you understand house listings and like someone who wants to like buy a house, there are a lot of tweaks that have been done in this in this design to make it more user friendly. So on the left is just an info dump. I think we can all understand, but it has all of the information that we want to convey. Now the image we have kept the same pretty much because the image is the image, the house is the house. We are not getting into product photography. One of the most important metrics for anyone buying a house, especially at this stage, is like the price of it. And having the price like front and center really makes it easier for someone to assess if the house is even in their budget or not. The amount of bedrooms, how big the house is, all of that is like secondary information. First, at least in this example, the budget is being prioritized. It is built for a budget savvy audience who is looking for a house based on what they can afford, not particularly exactly just the size and the luxuries that come with it. Now, so there is a lot of text in the first one, and the text is reduced in the second one. And I think a bunch of you mentioned in the chat as well, at least a couple of you, that there seems to be like lesser information, lesser content in the second one, even though we are basically conveying the same information. All of that information is still there, yet it looks less. Why is that happening? So there are a lot of things in this. There is a lot of information here which is self-explanatory. For instance, having the price written out with the currency symbol next to it is self-explanatory. We understand because of the currency sign that this is the price. We don't need a text label to explain that. Similarly, for type, when it says for sale, we can just write for sale. That is like self-explanatory. We don't need to write type. Similarly, for location, the address written out feels like an address, and the location icon is used so widely with in like every app, and overall, it's like something that is ingrained into our memory so well that we can just replace the word location with the icon, and it makes everything look super clean. Similarly, the text for size, the amount of bedrooms, the amount of bathrooms, all that is replaced to make it look more cleaner, reduce the amount of text, and make things better. So once that is done, I think one thing apart from the icons being there that is being done in this design to make it look better is that there's a picture added next to the person's name. Jennifer Bloom is the person's name in this hypothetical scenario. Their contact number is public, which is odd, but that is just how this website works clearly. And adding like a secondary image, which was not even like something that was existing in the first card, really humanizes the design and builds a level of trust that, okay, this is a house that belongs to someone else, and I'll be getting it from this person specifically. Since this is like buying a house is like a very large purchase, you expect people to put in a lot of trust in these platforms when they see a listing. Uh, because you are dealing with higher amount, high ticket value things. Just checking on the chat. But the second design gives vibe of expensiveness. Why do you feel that, Pitch? If I don't mind you asking. Ash said because it's actually too much expensive. That is true. It is. I don't know how the numbers changed in these examples, but yeah, the house appreciated in cost by quite a bit. Very glossy design. Hmm. I think the glossiness of the design comes in because of how and coming with that I'll come actually that helps for me to reach my second point after the replacing. So basically, step one was to reduce the amount of text by replacing the text with icons. That works well for us with this situation. Every word is easily represented through icons. Uh, Another way where the design has been made a little bit lighter and focus is being drawn for me personally is through color. So as you can see, right now we have like one primary color, which is the blue one. And like our main elements, whatever we need focus on is highlighted with that. You have the main prices highlighted with that. You have your area, number of bedrooms, number of baths, and the person's name. So basically everything that is mostly changing and like primary information that we need people to see distinctly is highlighted. And I'm sure if I was able to make all of the text gray, I would be able to show you uh, exactly why having the color there is important, because it really makes the entire text very bland if all of it is just gray and your eyes just go to one place. And then again, with the for sale thing, they have added a yellow color as an accent color. So I really do think that from going with a predominantly white design with some blue text in there and adding uh, sk- uh, we added colors to emphasize like the active interest areas, and gray color to sort of de-emphasize the areas that you would only look at if you really want to understand what is going on. Those can be like de-emphasized by using desaturated colors, and the yellow color adds a pop to it. So I think that is why HJ you feel like the second design is glossier, even though very little is being changed in terms of the depth of the design. Uh, they've just added another color and arranged things better, and that adds like a depth to the design without really adding any other new angle to it. Remember, you can get away with higher price if you make the design better, guys. That is 100% true. I'm sure eventually I'll be able to pull up some research to show this to you guys. But 100%, it definitely helps with building leverage and adding legitimacy to your products, and that can help you sort of price your products better also. HJ, there is a research after UPI introduced, people are spending more money. I think it is much more to do with how UPI apps are designed, so simple and easy. I was actually going to go with another example for this. Maybe we can get into it a little bit later. But were any of you users of the initial Google Pay app that was used in India? It was called Google Pays. Uh, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, drop anything in chat. Yes, I was. Ash also said yes. So yeah, I think if anyone remembers that app, it was a very straightforward app. You just opened that app, and it was one button front and center, which can be toggled into pay or receive. And at that time, they had added a functionality where instead of using a QR code, it was through audio. And so if you put it on, if I remember it correctly, if you put it on pay, your phone sort of sent out an audio sound through the speaker, which was unique to your phone. And if you put it on receive, your phone can listen to that audio sound and sort of connect with that phone, and you can have that transaction. I'm not sure how like in terms of like privacy and safety wise how great it was, but that is how it worked initially. Eventually they moved to the QR code thing. But I do think overall in terms of design, that was one of the most effective apps out there. And in fact, that was the first that app that I also installed, purely because it was simply like a very easy to use app. No extra bells and whistles. You just open the app. There was one thing to do in it. It is to pay or receive money, and that is about it. Now, what it has become now with Google Pay and services like Paytm and all, it's become like very super bloated. There are a million functionalities. You can book train tickets, you can book movie tickets, you can do whatever you want in Paytm at this point. Honestly, I don't think anyone uses it for those purposes, but there is like very bloated app, and people still mostly use it for just that third of the app, which is just view balance, pay, and all that. Yeah, I stopped Paytm just because it's too much when I open. Exactly. So similarly, that was going to be my point with those examples. If I got to it, was that having Paytm is sort of like the left card in this situation, and Google Pay Tej was the right card. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, see, apart from the color and apart from reducing the text with icons, another thing that if you might not actively notice, let me just point out, is that there is scale also at play in the first card, and this is the last thing that I'm going to point out in this example is that in the left side, the text sizes are relatively comparable and pretty much all the same, except the luxury 5-bit will like the name of the property being slightly larger, but like it's all negligible and all of it looks pretty much the same. So there is no hierarchy there. You can't really, your eyes are not drawn to anything specific. On the right side, some things are made bigger, some things are made smaller. So yeah, I mean, it is all about adding a little bit of hierarchy to your design so that your eyes know where to go, or your users' eyes know where to look and what to look at. Uh, and you already know what the information is that you want to prioritize. So yeah, that was it. So another thing that I wanted to get at after that example, a visual hierarchy on the right one. Yeah, Rupa. I think visual hierarchy was the main takeaway from that. So yeah, another thing that I really wanted to get at was that a lot of people have this habit of uh, like while making their products or making their websites or making any design, is that you just move around elements until they look better. And I'm surely guilty of that. I think a lot of people will be able to relate to this one, where you just if something is not looking good, the last resort is to just move things around until it looks better. And sometimes you get to a result that looks pretty well. But other most of the time, what ends up happening is that it just completely messes up the overall cohesiveness of your design. So what I want you to do is to implement grids in your design. So if you can, try and spend like an hour on trying to learn what responsive grid structures are in terms of design, and try to actually implement that. So I feel like you can like easily implement these like design structures. These are not super uncommon, uh, but it is pretty surprising how often people just skip these like smaller things just because it is like probably easier to just move things around and like place them and have them just have more of a vibes based approach to design. It's just as moving the things is bad. It disturbs user journey. I was unable to find check balance in Paytm app. That move features no time. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it is important to have a sort of build user behavior by keeping things in one spot. So, for instance, if I think most people don't change where their apps are in their phone, And I'm sure for those people who are super addicted to like Instagram and stuff, like I'm sure I can blindfolded open my phone and open Instagram without really knowing where the app is. So that is sort of like a user journey that has been developed locally in my phone only for me. And I'm sure all of you have like apps like that, which your fingers automatically know how to open them as soon. And sometimes you don't even know that you're opening these. You just open your phone and boom, Instagram is open. But you never really intentionally did it. And if you move that icon, it's obviously going to be harder for your brain to process that. So yeah, what AJ was saying, if similar same thing applies to that. So for instance, in an app, if you are used to like checking the balance in a specific way, uh, you are going to tap that, and if something else is there, that is going to cause a lot of frustration with that. Grid structures greater than brute force design, 100% Yash. Instagram laughing in the corner, always moving things. 100% agree. It is horrible. But yes, so see, these are some common grid structures. I think mostly like the 12 column structure is what people usually go with, super versatile. Modular ones are super great for like anything with like squared listings. I think if you have listings, that is great for that. And hierarchical, it's like a super cool one. I think it would remind a lot of you of the was it Windows 8 or which one was it? The Lumia OS as well was also something similar to this one. Like the tile design is super popular, and it's I'm pretty sure it's called like the bento box design now. Yeah, the Metro UI. Yes, Ankush, that was the one. And I think now it's like the bento box design or something it's called. Bento was definitely a word that was used. And you would see Apple using that in their keynotes, where they have all of those tiles explaining each individual feature, and in the center they have uh, uh, the name of the product that is being represented. Windows Phone, yes, that was the thing. So yeah, so grid structures are I would say like I think a lot of people expect grid structures to be like super confining, but it is not that. It is not like a limiting thing. It is supposed to be something that you can work within. It is supposed to be like a framework that you work within, and it gives you room to be creative within that sort of confine. So I really recommend like looking up columns, modular structures, and implementing that in your websites, because I do see a lot of people having that missing, and that really hurts designs. Because see, the entire goal of us having even this conversation is so that your projects can start looking like products. And having even like you might think that oh, this box is just 5 pixels off, it's fine, it even works on certain desktops. There's just some phones it might not look bad on, might not look perfect on, but that is where the differentiation between projects and products come in. Your product should look exactly the same no matter what the phone is, no matter what the screen size is. Obviously, like there are use cases where your product is going to be used on specific systems, and that you can manage. But what I'm trying to say is that having grid structures helps with responsive design a lot, and really helps with adaptability and reaching out to as big of an audience as you can. Um, so yeah, hold on a second. Yes. So now getting to the last point, and that is something that a lot of people forget in terms of when they get to like designing things, is that repetition. I do think that repetition is what really makes a product memorable. And this repetition, I mean that in every capacity possible. So if any of you are familiar with the Apple keynotes, or like keynotes in general have this tendency, or like any advertising material, if you would see, you would realize that a lot of people, a lot of these brands repeat certain words. So you would see Apple maybe after like a new product launch, throughout the 1 hour presentation, they will keep repeating words which sort of emphasize words they want you to remember and words they want to stick to you. The fastest iPhone ever. Yes, exactly. So the fastest, revolutionary, disruptive, fun, new, biggest, accessible. These are all words that, like, stick with you as long as you keep repeating them. And these are all also, by the way, comparative words which can't really be quantified. Like, you can't really disprove that it's the fastest iPhone ever. Like, that is kind of the point with new releases. It's not going to be like slower than the previous one. They're just stating an obvious, but framing it in a way where it feels like they've accomplished so much. And repeating that makes it sticks with your users. So it applies with words. I think that is the one that is easiest to understand. But I think it also applies with visual cues. So in the previous example that we saw of the property listing, there was an accent color that was used. So that yellow accent color that said for sale, now that card design is going to be same throughout the website. Now, wherever you will be using a card, it will look similar. All of your listings will look exactly the same, and the accent color for the for the that tab is going to look exactly the same. Now in isolation, obviously we saw how much things improved as soon as we have those visual elements involved and reduce the amount of text going on. But when we repeat those elements, that is when the real beauty of our grids and repetitions come through. Having so As people keep using your products, I can assure you that as we had just talked about with the UPI apps and the button placements, uh, the for sale icon that is yellow in that card, people will as they keep using it, they will stop reading for sale. As long as while scrolling they see that yellow icon, they would know, oh, this one's on discount, so I need to stop and check it out. They don't need to read those words. So that is how repetition helps. Repetition through these elements, repetition through colors, that builds behavior of activities within your users that you can use to your benefit. And the users obviously benefit because it's getting easier for them to understand your product. Uh, the key is to have like a consistent response from the product. Uh, Basically, if I see another yellow icon, a text capsule, and it says instead of for sale, it says the opposite, then the product breaks. Because that behavior, I expected it to be for sale, and then it is not for sale. That is where my user experience breaks, and that is where the entire thing falls apart. So just by repetition and having these visual cues, so visual cues can also be like design elements. So for instance, I think a lot of you would be familiar with using these. And even in this Gather Town UI, you would be able to see that every box is like a rounded rectangle box. You can see like the chat is there, the how in the chat with the room nearby and inbox, all of those are highlighted. All of those are rounded rectangles highlighted in a similar capacity. When I'm speaking, the border of my box is green, and that is used to sort of show an active state. I'm not sure if anyone else can see that, but yeah. So there are those design elements where just having a green border means that this item is in an active state. And that can only be understood by the user if every time something is active, it has that design element associated with it. So yeah, I mean, these are like fairly uh, basic insights into what makes and breaks these sort of user behaviors. But you would find it surprising how few people actually end up going through with all of these things going on all together. Because with user experience, I definitely feel like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And I do feel like that it is cliche, but it is yeah, it really is the details that matter the most. And yeah, I mean, the one thing that I would like to like close out with is that like good design is almost always invisible, and sort of the purpose of this entire thing is so that you understand that even in the most simplest forms, wherever you see like any sort of design happening, sort of take a second and sort of sort of break down what is it that is making it good, or what is it that is making it bad. And out of those experiences, you'll be able to find what does and does not work with your brand specifically. And with grid design specifically, I would say that it is something that you can hit me up if you need for resources regarding that. Because I do have like great resources, and it takes like a little while to get into all of the different type of grid designs. That is why we didn't get too deep into it, because it would take another hour to sort of plan all of those things out. But yeah, any other doubts if you guys have, just to as a closing thing, if there's any other things you want me to clarify, do let me know. I'm reading the chat right now. Yeah. HA says, can you guide on how to build our own design system? Example, colors, fonts, icons, components, etc. Currently, I have to go to Google to search these things. So, in terms of having a design system for yourself, I think what you have just mentioned, having colors, fonts, icons going on for you, is basically mostly what you need. There is a basic structure that I generally follow. Let me try and see if I'll be able to uh, open that up in some capacity. Uh, I don't think I can. Just try and reach out to me, and I'll share it with you separately also if you need. But basically, to get started with your brand, you don't really need like a perfect brand design kit to start off with. What you have mentioned is what you need: colors, fonts, icons. For fonts, there are resources that can help you just pick good fonts to start off with, because see, the goal of this session was to have like a minimal viable visuals, something that you can proudly stand in front of and say that this is like a professional solution that I've developed, and it is not like a experimental random things that I've picked out. So Google Fonts has good font pairings. If you just scroll down to any of the fonts that you like, you can go to like Roboto is a great place to start off with. Just scroll down and they would give you good heading and body pairings. Type Wolf is another resource where you'll be able to find fonts, a font pairing specifically, because I think fonts is not where people struggle. For pairing two fonts together is where most people um, end up like getting confused a little bit. And for colors, there are two websites. There is Adobe Color, which can help you generate palettes after you can select just one primary color, and you would be able to figure out like an entire palette out of it. And there's also Coolers, which is a same concept, but it also has the I can drop a should I drop a link to these things? I can drop a link to Coolers and title. Because I think Google Fonts, I think everyone is familiar with. I don't think anyone will have issues finding that. Yeah. So the coolers one is for finding color combinations, and for font, there's Typewolf, and Google Fonts also has that. So I think that should be helpful. If you need any help apart from that, feel free to reach out to me, like on Twitter or Discord, anywhere really, and I'll be able to help you out. Um, Next is here in Gather app, using white border instead of violet for chat input area would be good color contrast. I do agree. I think right now, if I am hovering over it, it turns into like a slightly brighter thing and turns almost white. But yes, 100%, I agree. Having like if chat, I don't think in Gather Town chat is like supposed to be like a huge thing, but I'm sure in like a live streaming sort of setting like Twitch or something, I think having the chat box highlighted with like a distinct color, like an accent color, will draw people's attention to that. One small pushback on that, which I would have, would be since the chat would be an active area most of the time, having an accent color always there might be a little bit much if I'm there for hours. Uh, but yeah, I want to build. I'm just going to quickly go over it because I think we have gone on for far too long. One is I want to build on the perma web and have a few ideas in mind. but yesterday in the live event, what no. I think on in the Discord, Yagyansh, I think people will be able to help you out a little bit more. I think someone from the team will be able to follow up on that. Um, Need teams can't build solo. Again, Discord is your place. What is my Twitter handle? You can find my Twitter handle from the Arweave India Twitter announcement from today, or I can just drop it in the comments later on, I guess. Can anyone share Discord link? Yes, Discord, and I think let's just drop the details. Wow, thank you so much, Prasan. This is super helpful, actually. But yeah, I think that is all for me. Prasan, Ash, anyone like to take
Yes,
over?
yes. Thank you so much. Again, one of the best sessions, you know. Again, I was
Thank you,
not able to attend the whole, but yes, so, like got the vibe.
thank you,
So
thank you.
I hope everyone enjoyed. Just drop a fire emoji if you like loved the content. If you were able to get your, yeah, heart emoji also works. So right. And again, thank you all for joining in, for all the aspiring participants who plan to get participate in hacker house this time. So the challenges starts from tomorrow, so make sure you join in the Discord to get all the updates. Right, we will be dropping out or dropping in all the announcements regarding the boot camps, right, boot camp challenges. If you have any queries, or like if you just want to hang around and talk with the team, so just like Discord is your place, right? And OG Kanish, again, Twitter handle is again shared in the chat. It's the user handle is Kanish underscore PSD, right? Again, make sure to keep up, make sure to so bombard him with all the questions that you have. That's what I do, right? And maybe you can get in the queue and get the responses on time. So but yes, so it's your luck, you have to try out. So but again, thank you all for joining in. Looking forward to have you all attend, and come in as or apply for the challenges, and looking forward to meet some of you at the hacker house maybe. Thank you. And again, you guys can stay here and have a chat around, so we will be here for some time. So yep.